You mentioned Nas. Now, some people are of the opinion that there's rock and there's hip hop, which people that don't like hip hop call rap still. And the twain shall never meet, according to those people. I, for one, disagree. You disagree, obviously. I think it harkens back to when Aerosmith and Run DMC got together, and it worked. This really works, you doing Back in Black with Nas. Talk a bit about it.
Well, it's one of my favorite songs in the sense that when I play it, it reminds me of what it's like to be 14 years old with a lot of pimples, means testosterone all over the place, and you're not afraid. You're not looking for approval. You're just going to do it, man, no matter what anybody says. And it's that energy that I wanted, the bubbles and the 7-Up energy that I want. Nas just nailed it, man. When I listened to the lyrics, I was like, wow, this is what the lyrics originally said. Fantastic, I love to do that. I mean, that's one of the things that I would love to do. I dream of going on the road with him and doing songs like that, and going with India Arie and Yo-Yo Ma with a symphony, do 7 songs like that with a symphony, Yo-Yo Ma and India Arie. So I love dreaming while I'm awake. Why not?
Let's talk Yo-Yo Ma and India Arie, and what a beautiful version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps. As I understand it, when George's widow, Olivia, heard the song, she was ecstatic. What did she do?
She sent an email and she said, "Dearest Carlos, as soon as I heard the song, I immediately jumped with joy and cried at the same time. And I want to let you know that George really, really was into who you are and what you do because he was deeply aware of your passion for compassion." So when you receive an email like that, that's supreme validation. Every human being needs validation. Not somebody to blow smoke up your nose, but validation, genuine validation. Everyone needs it, from everyone in this planet, So thank you for holding the camera, and thank you for asking me these questions. And I became really aware that our heart's intent is being received in a very warm way.
He who clearly had a greater effect on the sound of the Rolling Stones than a lot of people give him credit, or the history may have celebrated. One of the greatest guitar songs from the catalog of the Rolling Stones featured Mick Taylor on lead guitar. I'm so pleased that you picked "Can't You Hear Me Knockin'," and the female backing vocals, by the way, are incredible. And Scott Weiland doing a lead vocal. Tell us a bit about this Stones cover.
We went to a different variety of songs from each one, from Jimi Hendrix and the Rolling Stones. And the ones we arrived because we are ready to play those right now. And they are ready to be played. Those, "Can't You Hear Me Knocking," it sounds already like what I was listening to, which is like Tito Puente or Ray Barretto or Harry Mann. It already sounds like Santana, what Santana would be doing. I always loved Mick Taylor since the moment I heard him with the Crusaders, John Mayall. John Mayall. I love to do someday. I love to do something with him because we both love the same thing for the same reason, which is the God Bucket cut and shoot blues. But Mick Taylor, man. I mean, I went on a tour with him and Bob Dylan when he was doing Joker Man. Infidels, and man, the way the producer and it was Sly and Robbie who did this album, Shakespeare, and it was the gentleman from Money for Nothing,
Mark Knopfler.
Mark Knopfler, yeah. He great producer, and I like to do something with him as well. But anyway, to go back to Mick Taylor. I'm always inspired and impressed of just how soulful his slide guitar is, and everything about him is. He's very, very, very melodic when he takes a solo, like yours truly.
Clearly, great singers shine most brightly when they do great songs, and it's clear that given his vocal performance on the Queen classic, I had never thought of him in the way I think of him now that he has joined you on this record, Rob Thomas, singing Sunshine of Your Love. To me, he is now a great rock singer, where before I thought of him as a pop singer. What do you think?
You know, Rob can do anything he wants to, man. He's got the voice. I told him I want to do a CD with him, cause, with doing some Otis Redding stuff and really drive the women nuts, you know, because nobody drove women more crazy than Otis Redding, you know, like the way he did Satisfaction and or Day Tripper, like she was like, and then women go, oh man, it's like what, you know, I have videos of women just looking at him come out of the station like, oh, okay, cool, and all of a sudden they go, oh my God, this guy is like stud, man. This guy is like, oh my God, you know. And it's wonderful to watch that thing in Rob, that he has that thing, that he can go with his voice and his spirit into a place to take Eric Clapton's song, Cream's song, you know, into a place where, again, the energy of the band is really, really powerful, man, because we open it up. I purposely wanted to, when we did Sunshine of Your Love, I'm very grateful that all Clive Davis and the producers allow me to set the mood and the table and the tone. You know, they do what they do, but they allow me first to have the first hour, you know, with my band to set the mood, because I was able to open it up. You know, so we opened it up for the drums, timbales, and congas, and then that hole that we leave open, ooh, that's where it gets like very euphoric, very sensual euphoric, you know. And Rob picked up on it. So to me, it's important to not overstay something or overstate something, you know. And by opening it up, when you hear it, that's the only difference that it takes us into a place. I haven't heard from my brother Eric Clapton. I sent him "Guitar Gently Weeps" and "Sunshine of Your Love." Yeah, hopefully, you know, he's still my brother, but I'm sure it's okay. You know, we did it from our hearts, and we hope he receive it as well.
I remember the story of he traveling with George Harrison to London once, and then George saying, "You've got to come in the studio and play on a Beatles record. It's this song I wrote." And Clapton's like, "Nobody plays on Beatles records." So I'm sure it'll take him right back to that feeling that he had now that there's another cover, or now that there's a song that has another guitarist featured on a beautiful tune. How you talked about validation. How is it important to hear from these guys now that you've made this great record of covers?
Well, it's supremely important, you know, to hear from John Densmore or Robbie Krieger, you know, everyone, you know, Ray, it would be Manzarek, it would be incredible because, again, you know, I keep going back to the Doors because the Doors to me is the connection with everything that happened in the 60s, that people dosing themselves with kerosene and burning themselves to protest the the Vietnam War. Yeah. We don't have that, but we should. We should have more bands that stay with it, like Marvin Gaye against Vietnam, and you know, receiving validation from Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, or Jeff Beck. It's important, but I already got my validation from Olivia Harrison. You know, and everything else would just be gravy at this point. You know. Because to know that she received the resonance, sounds and vibration, that what we did it from love, not to demean or to compete or compare. That should be enough. I can't control, nor do I want to, how people think or perceive. That's their thing. You know, I know if somebody from Metallica or Mars Volta ever do a Santana song, you know, I'll get a big chuckle, especially if they take it to a place where I have to go on my toes and go, damn, now I have to go like, you know, I have to do something different because this guy's brought it to it, you know. It's a compliment, really.
Well, Kirk from Metallica is a longtime fan of yours, as you know, and that's a wonderful thing.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.